Welcome back to another edition of Current Events with Mr. Bombic and myself. Obviously, as you can see here, we are not together with our proper protocols with social distancing. We thought we're going to have to do our current events separate today. But don't worry, Mr. Bombic's here. Mr. Bombic, would you like to say something?
What do you want?
Whoa, geez, just trying to say hey. All right, well, I guess we'll just get going right away into these. So, realizing that you guys aren't the greatest at social distancing, after going on some walks, seeing people at the park, there's people everywhere together. The goal is for you to be at home, staying away from other people. So we thought we'd give you some examples. And with my own house, I'm going to have my son Nash be one of the main models. As you can see from this picture right here, he is not exhibiting very good social distancing. Right? That is something you should not be doing with your friends and other people throughout the community. This next picture is a much better example of social distancing. Continue to social distancing. It's the right way. We're here to stay home and save lives.
I agree, Mr. Kruger. I've also been on walks and seen kids out and about, hanging out with friends. I'm being way too close. Like your son Nash, my daughter Kennedy also struggles with social distancing sometimes. Look at example over here. That is not good social distancing. She also succeeds sometimes. Look at this picture. That is good social distancing. Stay safe, flatten the curve.
All right, so we're going to start out with our first example of the current events of the week, and it has to do obviously with the coronavirus. Now, there's so much negativity out there in our world, especially around the coronavirus, and it probably scares a lot of people. But I wanted to help bring up some good examples of where America is stepping up and showing that there are great things happening even during a terrible time. Many of them have to do with private companies stepping up to help out. For instance, GM and Ford Motor Company have decided to stop making their cars and actually start making ventilators to help save people's lives. They said by middle of May that hundreds of thousands of ventilators will be made by their company, so they can be implemented all throughout the United States, maybe even in the world, really demonstrating that a company can put their own problems aside and come together. Another one is some of the alcohol companies have stopped making alcohol, and they've actually switched into making hand sanitizer, which is another example of finding things that a company can do to help lessen the spread of this disease. Obviously, hand sanitizer being one of those. And then another example is actually provided by Olivia Bruns from our current events from last week. Read an article about in Texas, prison inmates are actually using their labor there inside the jails to actually start making masks and try to send out so anyone else can use those. And lastly, there's a controversial topic about the 3M masks that are the main uses within hospitals, but also people throughout the entire United States are wanting those too. So the CEO believes of 3M that they should only be sent to the hospitals, but actually all of the stores throughout the United States want them so they can make a profit. So profit versus only sending to a hospital is a difficult aspect right now. So going on to another coronavirus, here's Mr. Bombic.
Thank you, Mr. Kruger. Like you said, we have a lot of current events to talk about the coronavirus. For example, the government just passed a bailout where if you make under $75,000, you get $1,200. And so that's for both you and your spouse. So for example, if you and your spouse make under $150,000, you guys get $2,400. Right? They want to stimulate the economy and encourage more spending so that our economy does not suffer during these times. Something else that's awesome, if you have kids, you get $500 per kid, which some parents might keep for themselves, others might give to their kids. So I guess do your chores, be a good kid, and maybe your parents will give you that extra $500 that you can spend on whatever you want. Also, okay, scary stuff with the coronavirus. In the United States, we have now surpassed China as the most coronavirus cases in the world. However, China being a communist country, it is reported that they are probably lying about how many cases they really have. So we maybe have less cases in China, but we reported have more. Also, central Nebraska, so that involves Hall County, has had 3 confirmed cases and 1 confirmed death. Right? It is definitely in our community. You need to be careful, wash your hands, stay away from friends, stay home, and be safe.
I feel like it's part of my job is to make sure that you guys aren't stupid. And one of those things is the coronavirus challenge. Maybe you've seen this on your social media, right? But the guy who started the coronavirus challenge by licking a toilet seat, that guy, he now has the coronavirus. Don't be dumb, and you'll be fine.
All right, it's that time of the week again where we are going to do our Mount Rushmore of something. So last week is a Mount Rushmore of road trip snacks. There's a little bit of confusion when you guys were answering this question. So the goal is for you to pick 4 of a certain topic that we talk about. So last week you should have picked 4 road trip snacks. This week we're going to do top 4 Netflix shows to binge watch, or if you're not a Netflixer, TV shows. So I'll start with mine. My number 1, Last Chance U. Love the JUCO, Eastern Mississippi, Independence U, great show. Number 2, Netflix docuseries. The one I've been hooked on now when I've been at home, Tiger King. Definitely need to watch it. It's crazy. Also, Don't F With Cats. That's another one I really like. Number 3, The Office. It's classic. You can have it mindlessly going as you're working on homework or schoolwork, doing whatever you need to do. And the last one that I have is Criminal Minds. I binge watched that in college and it's still just one of my favorite. Mr. Kruger, what are your 4 favorite Netflix shows?
Thanks for asking, Mr. Bombeck. Now, first off, my favorite one is going to have to be Breaking Bad. I mean, who doesn't love a teacher that turns into a drug kingpin, all right, to provide money for his family? I don't know. Maybe you know some teachers that way. But that's my favorite Netflix show. Watched it over and over, watched seasons multiple times. Probably one of the best shows in history. Then, just like Mr. Bombeck, I love the Netflix originals, all right, the documentaries, all right, specifically. Now, maybe we're getting old, and maybe you don't like those, but I think they're amazing. It doesn't matter which one. I will binge watch those as fast as I can. Really, really, really a great, great series to watch. And then, I love a good laugh. And Parks and Rec, if you've ever seen that, that is absolutely hilarious. It's up there with The Office, but I like Parks and Rec maybe just a little bit better because even if you fall asleep, they get a quick recap. And it's not that important to know exactly every single episode as they go through. And then lastly is another funny one called How I Met Your Mother. I just think that's just been a really funny show. So I enjoy a little humor, but I also enjoy some seriousness in my shows. Now, your job is, tell us, what are your favorite 4 shows?
Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. Sports world. Okay? The coronavirus, like we talked about last week, has canceled a lot of sports. However, there are 2 major sporting events that are still happening. The NFL draft. Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, said that the NFL draft will go on as scheduled, but without any fans and no athletes going up to hold up the jerseys or celebrate being drafted in the first round. That's a big one. And he said that the teams are going to probably have to host those in remote locations away from each other with less than 10 people because that is the law. The second big sporting event, which you can decide if it's actual sports or not, is WrestleMania. The biggest.
Are you ready for this Sunday night when WWE Champ John Cena defends his title in the WWE Super Slam?
The biggest wrestling event in the year is going to still continue, but once again, without any fans. Okay, those are 2 big sporting events that are still going to go on, stuff we can look forward to. Now, live breaking news from Fonner Park. Off to you, Mr. Kruger.
It's Jared reporting live from Fonner Park here. Fonner Park Racing was shut down, but no, not for long. This last week, Fonner Park opened up for a 3-day trial to race without fans. In these 3 days, set records. $5.3 million were raised here at Fonner Park. The broadcasts were televised all over the world where people were betting, right? This is a very small part, but the horse racing is living for 1 more week. They're going to try it again Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this next week, seeing if Fonner Park can continue to be one of the best horse racing places in the world. Reporting live from Fonner Park, this is TKJB coming back at you. Thanks, Jared.
Yeah, that's Mr. Bombeck. Anyways, another big sporting event, the 2020 Olympics, supposed to be in Tokyo, Japan, have been postponed to 2021. Surprisingly, a lot of athletes are actually excited about this because they said that they could no longer do the drug tests in the most important time, which would give some athletes an unfair advantage if they were cheating. Like Mr. Sussman says, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Others have retired from the sport saying 1 extra year is just a little too much. However, at least we do get to look forward to Olympics in 2021.
So I know a lot of people are sitting around wondering, gosh, I'm bored. I wonder what all my friends are doing. So, luckily, If you scour through the social media, you'll find some videos like this. This was submitted by Kyla Sieverts.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Yeah, hey, every day can be a better day despite the challenge. All you gotta do is leave it better than you found it. It's gonna get difficult to stand, but hold your balance. I just say whatever, cause there is no way you're around it. 'Cause everyone falls down sometimes, but you just gotta know it'll all be fine. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best.
Well, another great thing to talk about in current events is companies coming together. One being maybe some of your favorites, not mine, but it doesn't matter, still a good story. Starbucks. Starbucks has implemented the policy that any essential worker, police officers, doctors, nurses, right, they can get free coffee until May 3rd. Right? They want to make sure that all these people on the front line fighting the coronavirus, that they have free coffee and shouldn't have to be worried about paying things when they are some of the most important people in positions in our country. So that's just another great example of how our country is solving terrible problems. Welcome back. I know what you're thinking. Mr. Krieger's not that funny. That's where you're wrong. I have probably your favorite segment, the dad joke of the day. So, frogs, not the greatest parkers. Do you guys know what happens when they park illegally? They get towed.
You know what, Mr. Krieger? You're so funny, I decided that I wanted to join in on the dad jokes of the day as well. Hey, have you guys heard about the joke on the coronavirus? Never mind, you wouldn't get it. It's an inside joke. Hey guys, today's broadcast is brought to you by Big Red Treats, the best frozen treat in town. What's really awesome is they're starting their curbside pickup. All you have to do is go online to bigredtreats.com, pick your size, pick your flavor, pick your toppings, and it'll be ready in 5 minutes. You also pay online, so you don't even have to get out of your car. Thank you, Jossie. This is delicious.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
Well, we've come to the end of this, and this is the part where we like to give you guys a little bit of advice. Now, first off, obviously, today's assignment, goals and gratitude, the fill out the document, going over all these questions from our current events today. Now, I think it's important for you guys to realize, don't be that person that has been doing all the e-learning and all they do is just turn in a warm-up every day. There's a warm-up and an assignment every day, okay? Don't be that person, because there's plenty of you out there, they're only doing the warm-up because, I don't know, that takes 5 seconds, okay? Be better than that. And the last thing I want to leave you with advice is, guys, we are truly in a memorable time. All right, you'll be looking back from this time 60 years from now and be like, oh my gosh, you remember COVID-19 or the coronavirus? You remember how we were out of school in 8th grade year at the end? Everything was e-learning? Absolutely, okay? This is an extremely important time to remember. So maybe it's you taking a video every day describing your emotions. Maybe it's a selfie. Maybe you start writing a journal. I know some people are like, oh, no, journals. But I think you'll realize years from now, it'd be kind of cool to understand what you're feeling like and how your life was impacted. All right, here's some advice from Mr. Bombay.
Thank you, Mr. Krieger. You guys did awesome week 1. Make sure that you carry that momentum and that work ethic into week 2, okay? Once again, I want you guys to know that all of your teachers are there for you, right? We do not want you to get overwhelmed. We don't want you to get stressed out. Please, please, please reach out to your teachers if you're feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed. All of us are here for you. Please let us know. Also, don't forget to hit the turn in button. Some of you guys are forgetting that. Figure it out. As always, go Cougs.
What's up, guys? Just want to say thanks for watching our video, and don't forget to subscribe. Now, we have a problem here. We have 200 and some kids between purple and gold, and you know what? There's 30 subscribers, okay? So, I'm going to give you an IOU for one Jolly Rancher for every subscriber, okay? I'm a teacher, guys. You guys expect like I'm making huge money. This is my next career choice. If teaching doesn't fall through, I want to be the next famous YouTuber. How can I do this without your guys' support? Let's go. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. We'll see you guys.